Genesis chapter 6 verses 3 and 6 states, Verse 3, And the Lord said, My spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. Verse 6, And it repented the Lord that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart. Traditional translations of Genesis chapter 6 often portray the Creator through the lens of human emotion, using words like regret or repent. However, for an all-knowing, eternal being, regret is a logical contradiction. When we examine the Septuagint Old Testament, LXX, the ancient Greek translation used by the early church, a more precise reality emerges. The text describes not an emotional mistake, but a systematic conclusion based on divine logic. The declaration, in Genesis chapter 6 verse 3, the clinical retranslation reads, My spirit shall not sustain humanity indefinitely, for he is flesh. Therefore, his decommissioning period shall be 120 years. The decision, Genesis chapter 6 verse 6. This contains the most significant linguistic shift. The LXX uses enethemeth, meaning he processed through logic. The Creator performed a structural analysis. He observed that the original design code had been fundamentally compromised. Because the system was no longer capable of fulfilling its purpose, the Logos concluded that it must be retired. The clinical rendering is, And the Lord decommissioned the humanity he had established, for he concluded within his own logic, Logos, that the system was non-functional. The Creator did not admit to an error, he performed a structural analysis. He observed that humanity had become corrupt, a term signifying that the original design had been fundamentally compromised. Because the system was no longer capable of fulfilling its purpose, the Logos dictated that it be retired. This 120-year period was not a new lifespan for individuals, but a countdown to the flood. Traditional readings often mistake this for a new human lifespan limit, but the data contradicts this. The patriarchs continued to live far beyond 120 years for many generations after the flood. Patriarch age at death, Noah 950, Shem 600, Arphaxad 565, Shelah 460, and Eber 404 years. The reboot. Noah. In this framework, Noah was the preserved dataset. The text describes him as perfect in his generations, meaning his lineage remained structurally intact and uncorrupted. The ark was a containment module, designed to shield this functional kernel during the decommissioning of the surrounding environment. The conclusion, the flood was a system migration. By looking past human emotion, we see a Creator who is consistent and purposeful, retiring a corrupted model to ensure the continuity of his original design.